full of monsters. The only way to defeat them is to become one yourself.
After the bridges blew, the government declared Gotham off limits. The city was given over to criminals, murderers.
I'm working on getting you help.
Just say we're on our own. We know you sold the RPG that took out Haven. I want to know who bought it.
What do you say, boys? Should we show this lawman how I feel about uninvited guests?
We're here to eliminate all criminal threats. Our goal is to make this hellhole safe again. Eduardo? Nice shot, right? You left the army for this city. It grows on you. You need shock and awe. Shock and awe is my default. I don't ask questions. I follow orders.
Did you destroy Haven?
Tell me the truth. Sometimes you just have to clean house. You'd kill me for some bureaucrat. Mission comes first. You told me that. Could have been like old times, making the world a better place.
Eduardo, my warrior, there's so much more for you to do. I intend to give you a true purpose and the strength to see it through.
I'm afraid this process will be agonizing. Apologies in advance.
Eduardo?
Not anymore. The world is full of monsters. The only way to defeat them is to become one yourself.
The hell are you?
I'm your new commander. Does anybody else have a problem with the orders?
You stay out of here! This is a hospital!
Barbara Kean, your time is up.
Exactly how many people have you screwed over?
You cannot run from your sins, and you cannot run from me.
I think this is happening now. Oh! Your retractions are about a minute apart. We gotta get you out of here.
I only brought enough ammunition for a light firefight, not a paramilitary assault.
Jim, that thing's pointing right at us!
Oh my, look at you. You're a big incher. Well, let's see what you got.
Just a little ounce of pressure. That's all that separates the living from the dead.
Let her go.
So Gothamites, the Red Band trailer, as you just saw, is out for I Am Bane, essentially just hyping up Bane's arrival in Gotham. Now, quite a few of you have been asking for quite some time, where has Bane been? Essentially, that storyline got put on hold because once upon a time we didn't have 12 episodes, we only had 10. So this would have come quite a few weeks ago, but as I said, we had the ventriloquist episode, then we had the episode with G and Lim, or Jim and Lee, getting married, so now we're finally diving back into what was the original ending for the season, if that makes sense, with the time jump being moved back to episode 12. Obviously, you know, one thing about these movie or Chemical Green Band trailers, Red Band trailer, whatever Jerome White Band trailer we've had before, they do give away a shite ton. So if you feel like after watching these episodes in the next few weeks, you know, it may feel like anticlimactic or something like that, this is why, because they do show a lot of, if not more or less entirely, the whole storyline in there. I mean, in this trailer, they show Alfred essentially getting his back broken. How do you know that, Boba? Because they've literally confirmed that. I'm assuming that bit at the end anyways, that moment when Alfred's back at least gets fractured or something like that, but he'll be fine. And just other moments like that. So, you know, I love these trailers, but I also feel a bit worried about it desensitizing people from the show. But, you know, before we get into this breakdown, guys, obviously like this video if you do go on to enjoy enjoy it. I really appreciate the support. You guys absolutely rock. And obviously, if you made it this far in the video and you continue on to the rest of this video, why not subscribe? Just click that subscribe button. Why haven't you already? And make sure you click the notification bell button as well. And oh yeah, I'm wearing the BobaTalks hoodie. Check it out. God, I look so strange. Check it out on teespring.com/stores/BobaTalks. And I know, no, Boba merch. I know some of you get frustrated with plugging, but come on. It's like 10 seconds of your time. So I technically have broke down a little bit of this episode already in terms of the 5x10 trailer, meaning episode 10 of season 5. Check out my trailer breakdown in the cards above if you haven't seen that already, even though this Red Band trailer for Bane is probably multiple episodes until, I'm guessing until that final episode in the time jump, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be Bane and Teresa Walker as for the rest of the season until we get that time jump. So I will go over the synopsis. I did, as I said, go over this the other day. But on the precipice of Gotham's reunification, Gordon and Bruce find themselves face to face with a newly transformed Eduardo and discover the real mastermind behind the city's current chaos. A pregnant Barbara turns to Lee for help. So, yeah, what I honestly think is the real mastermind behind the city's current chaos. It's very obvious that it's Teresa Walker. I just realized I still got my hood up, but I'm gonna rock it. So if you haven't been watching my videos for a little while already, Teresa Walker, I'm guessing, is Nissa Al Ghul. She is given Bane purpose. It's kind of Dark Knight Returns-esque, for lack of a better way to put it. If you know what I mean by that, I assume you've seen the Nolan films and how Bane was essentially Talia Al Ghul's soldier, but Gotham are switching it up a little bit. So, you know, into the breakdown. I know some of you will get pissed off by that, that it's taken this long to get into it, but I feel like I've spoken relevantly up until now, so please hold it, those people who get triggered. The beginning of the trailer shows us Eduardo Dorance's journey so far in what we've seen already in Gotham. As I said, we had a little bit of a break from him with the extra 2 episodes after he got like basically impaled, and this is when the trailer proceeds to show us that moment at the end of the episode where we see Teresa Walker walking in. That was non-intentional. You know, putting the I want to call it like a venom-y oxygen mask. It's weird. It must have given him the strength to carry on. Well, to be fair, Eduardo did somehow last hours impaled. I guess some medical people out there might argue somehow that injury didn't pierce any vital organ and it was positioned in such a way that he didn't bleed out, so he was just, I don't know, comic book logic, right? But I do want to give kudos to this trailer. It was better than what I thought it would be. Not that I don't think these movie trailers, cinematic trailers, aren't good anyway. I just feel like maybe the Chemical Green Band one, for example, wasn't as amazing to me as normal, because essentially we've had quite a few cinematic trailers for Gotham this year, which showed a lot of the Jeremiah stuff in like the season 5 movie trailer and other things like that, for example. Whereas this Bane one, I guess my expectations were low. I knew it'd be kind of cool, but I felt like this was actually pretty cool. And I guess what I'm secretly hoping is, because hashtag unpopular opinion, I'm a fan of the Bane suit. I know a lot of people aren't, so I'm kind of hoping maybe that this has convinced people as well, that, you know, maybe you might like, or maybe you're a bit more excited to see Eduardo's Bane in Gotham, or Gotham's version of Bane. So let me know, especially after we get through this breakdown in detail, if you're a little bit more hyped, and especially let me know if you're a bit more hyped if you were the person at the beginning who absolutely hated the reveal of Bane's suit. I love the line that Teresa Walker has by saying, I intend to give you a true purpose and the strength to see it through. Well, I mean, technically by this point, I think Eduardo already said to Jim that Walker gave him a purpose after she got him out of Penadura, or Penadura, I can't remember how Eduardo pronounced it. But yeah, like, you know, Walker is Bane's purpose, and now I guess she's saved him again from like probably certain death. If it wasn't for her slapping that mask on him, he's gonna wanna properly do her bidding, and her bidding is, as it says in the text in this trailer, you know, he wants to save Gotham by destroying it. That's what Teresa Walker wants. I guess that's fulfilling her father's destiny, I guess, in a true no man's land. If you remember, that's kind of what Ra's al Ghul originally wanted, so it would birth Bruce Wayne into the Dark Knight of Gotham. Now, I'm not saying at the same time Teresa Walker, as let's just assume Nyssa Al Ghul is doing all of this for her father. I mean, I'll get to that a little bit later in terms of when Bane is after Barbara. I think it's just super interesting. The Daughters of the Demon don't always have the best relationship with their fathers or anything, so I'm just trying to think. I assume that, you know, they still want to destroy Gotham because that's what Ra's wanted. Or at the very least, Nyssa might be thinking, you know, aka Teresa Walker, aka Nyssa, might just be thinking, even if this was a little bit of my father's plan, screw Gotham, like, you know, screw it. Like, screw Bruce Wayne, screw Barbara Kean, screw the Vision, I'm just burning it to the ground. Maybe that's what it is. We're going to have to wait and see for the actual proper motivation behind Nyssa Al Ghul's reasonings for destroying Gotham and bringing Bane into it throughout these episodes. And I also love that line that Hugo has where he's just like, I apologize, or something like that this process is going to be agonizing. I apologize in advance. Teresa's just like looking over, like really sadistically happy, probably just like, oh, look at this little creation I'm making. He's going to be my special like freaking soldier walking tank unit. Eduardo was a badass before this anyway, but I don't know. I made a whole video. You can check it out. If I remember, it will be in the cards above as to why Bane wouldn't work in Gotham. And then they brought Bane to Gotham. And you know, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to sound hypocritical because the reasonings I gave in that video were quite valid. I didn't think they could change up his origin in the way I'd like. So far, they're you know, Gotham are quite vague, especially in this season when they only have so much time to kind of give explanations for things. But so far, I dig this. This is like a very Gotham-y kind of way to do things. And I love seeing this angle here of Shane West's body just like shaking as a venom gets injected into him. Now, that is green. It's a lot darker green than what I was expecting. And, you know, you have to really think of, as what Hugo said, the agonizing pain that Eduardo is going through here. And then he like just screams out in pain. You can see his eyes slightly change. Well, here you don't really see his eye color change. It's just like his normal eye. But about several seconds later in the trailer, after the really cool venomy, veiny look on his cheeks near his eyes starts going through his skin, we see his eye color again, and it's a lot. I think it's a bit more of a darker green. So as I said, the venom isn't as luminous, kind of like bright chemically, like actually Ace Chemicals green is what I thought it would be. But you know, that's not really a big deal. It's not really a big deal. You know, in terms of actually transforming Bane, I think it's kind of difficult. I like what they've done. They've rippled some veins throughout him. Obviously, that's just going to be straight up makeup. If we see a close-up of Bane, it's going to be, well, I'm not a makeup artist, but it's just going to be like penciled on or something, right? And as for like his bigness, you know, for those of you who are criticizing it, I'm just expecting or assuming here that some guys might be criticizing it because, oh, why isn't he whopping massively big like in the comics? Like, why aren't his biceps like popping out and stuff like that? That's just not achievable on TV. So what they have done is, you know, Shane West is a big guy anyway in real life, and you could tell that when he was playing Eduardo. But what they have done is almost given him like football, you know, American football like shoulder pads, where I think you're expected to believe that it's is maybe the venom, giving him a bit more of a broader torso, if you will. Of course, he has got like almost a cybernetic, cyborgy looking chesty bit there. My comic book logic for this to a lot of you guys, what I keep saying is if you don't like this Bane look, I still like it for its innovative kind of design and new take. But you know, 10, 15 years from now when Bruce is Batman, and only very early into his Batman career, you can easily say in your head, and you know, I'm not saying you're not allowed to have the opinion of not liking this or anything, but I'm okay with this because he's got so much time to look like more of the traditionalist kind of Bane. He can lose his hair through venom use. I've said this 1,000 times, but yeah, back to the main point. Sure, probably a lot of that is keeping him alive, but I like to choose to believe that they've made him look quite a bit bigger because of the venom. But you're not going to see that like an actual muscle pop out of his clothing there. So, you know, I think that's fine within the boundaries of TV of what they can achieve. At this point of the trailer, we see like Bane in the hospital. As I said, it's going to sound like I'm talking out of order because trailers always show different parts of the episode Like, they might show the hospital bit, which might be the middle point of the episode here, but then we might see an early point. For example, we see Bane seeing Jim, or Jim seeing Bane for the first time. That could be a completely different part. But what I love is what they did here with Gotham is Bane. I don't know why I'm surprised, because it's Bane, but he is basically snapping people's necks, gory left, right, and center. It's really, really brilliant. I really, really like it. So we see Jim essentially get tranked here. He's sedated and he wakes up in Hugo Strange's room. Now, this is very interesting. If you guys watched my trailer breakdown for this episode anyway, but it was just like your normal weekly promo breakdown, I was wondering if, because we've had the past 2 filler-esque episodes, if you will, which were added into Gotham, maybe this is a flashback to when, Eduardo was defeated by Jim, and maybe Jim was, I don't know, I didn't know what to think. I was saying surely it's not present day, but it looks like it is present day, and this is a very intriguing scene within itself, because Eduardo captures Jim, and beforehand we knew that he wanted him dead, so why is he capturing him? That's interesting. But not only that, Hugo Strange is injecting him with some Indian Hill substance. Now, I'm not going to call that venom. That would be super interesting if that was. It's not like Jim's going to have any permanent effects after this, so I'm not entirely sure what the point of this is. Now, I can't make out what Eduardo, or should I say Bane, that's another thing I like as well. He doesn't like being called Eduardo now. He is something more. He is Bane. Now, as I was saying, I can't make out exactly what he's saying here. He's like, the wounds are monstrous or something like that, and the only way to get rid of them is to become one yourself. Obviously, I probably got the beginning bit wrong. The wounds are monstrous. So I don't know if it has anything to do with his wounds, because if you remember as well, Jim did get like impaled a little bit in his abdomen or something. But either way, it's pretty cool seeing Eduardo trying to make Jim into a monster himself. I'm just super intrigued. Is he trying to inject him with venom as well? Is that what Jim is experiencing here? Like, as Hugo said to Eduardo earlier, like absolute agonizing pain. Either way, Jim seems to lose it and break out of those restraints and toss Hugo Strange across the room. So I don't really know what's going on there, but it's going to be interesting. Now, this bit is also very interesting. We see Bane walking into this army camp. Now, I'm guessing, this is my guess, I really don't know at the end of the day, but, I love speculating. So what's happening here is that we've known since the first Gotham trailer that there's going to be like a load of tanks and army men going up against this wall in Gotham with Jim, Penguin, Riddler, and a whole random bunch of characters united together to fight Bane. Now, how does he get those men? Because all we knew is that he had one squad with his right-hand man, just like Bird from the comics. Now he's come back as Bane, so I'm guessing this is where he goes to maybe the outskirts of Gotham. Maybe the reunification is starting to happen, so the army are getting ready to come back in. So he snaps the commander's neck, and he's just like, "You're my men now." Does anyone else want to try and say anything about that? Do you oppose me? No? Good. You're following me. I think it must be something like that, because otherwise I don't know why he would randomly bump into these military guys. And also another thing I really like about this is his voice. I really do like the voice. No matter what Bane we've had in live action, I feel like I've always struggled to understand totally what he's saying. Like, sometimes if you just get your ear in the wrong angle, you can't really make through what he's saying or something like that. So I just want more people to like this look. I really like it. I'm just looking at him here from the side angle where he's about to snap the commander's neck, and it's just like, I like how they've also, after he was injected with the venom, he looks dead almost. His skin's very pale. It's like a proper drug withdrawal looking pale-faced addict kind of person, and that makes sense in a way as well because he's on venom. But anyway, moving onwards, shout out to the nurse who tried to stop Bane. This is a hospital. Smack. Out the way. Get out the way, women. But this is when Bane gets on the mic of the hospital and he's like, "Oh, Barbara Kean." Why is he after Barbara Kean? By the way, Barbara's giving birth at this moment to baby Batgirl Barbara Gordon. It's, time. If you're asking me about the time, don't ask. It's just assume that time has passed by to the point where Barbara is going to give birth. Why is she after Barbara, Boba? Get to the point. So we need to be asking ourselves, why would Teresa Walker be wanting to go after Barbara? Well, who killed her father, the demon's head himself? Well, it was kind of Barbara with Bruce, but she literally did grab Bruce's hands, like, "Come on, we need to stab the knife in him," and then Ra's al Ghul faded like Avengers Infinity War. Do you remember that? So I can only assume that Bane is specifically going after Barbara Kean because of that. Now, I really hope, don't forget about this, guys, this is quite a big thing, a flaw in Gotham, you know, constructive criticism here, just because, you know, I know not all of you think this, but I do get the occasional comment like, you really jumped on the bandwagon of hate in the latest episode of Gotham. Look, I critique these shows. I praise Gotham consistently, but that doesn't mean shows don't have their failings. Plural. It's not fail, but like failings, multiple things. You know, that doesn't mean it's not successful in many areas, but it has some issues. One of those is Barbara with the Demon's Head power. I know this is kind of off topic a little bit, but it isn't. At the end of last season, they literally ended. One of the last scenes we actually got of Barbara was her lifting a freaking hand up like, oh, look at the Demon's Head power. This is probably going to be explored in the next season. But no, it wasn't. It literally wasn't. Like, there's been no inkling. Now, yes, you can assume that's a scrap storyline because, you know, really, with the Demon's Head power that she had, she should have seen Tabitha's death coming, you know, before it happened, etc., etc. But, you know, I get how TV works. This last season, they couldn't continue that one properly. But hopefully, we might get some reference to that. That's what I'm trying to say here. Since, you know, this is kind of continuing on the storyline, I assume, of Barbara killing Ra's al Ghul, and Teresa Walker, aka Nyssa or Talia, is getting triggered about that and wanting, you know, vengeance. She might talk about the Demon's Head little power in Barbara's hand. I don't know. And why Penguin and Enigma there? Just because they are, I think. Like, maybe they were there, you know, talking to Barbara anyway about getting out of Gotham. Lee's, you know, faced with the decision of looking after her, and she feels like she owes that to Jim anyway. So I just think it's all a part of that. You know, Barbara, Enigma, and Penguin are quite the trio at the minute, at least. So I think this is one of those moments we actually saw in one of the original trailers. It looks a lot brighter than what we saw initially, though. You know, of Bane's men, load of military guys with vehicles, you name it, going up against the wall in Gotham. You know, and this is where Jim and Harvey, as we see here, are holding him off. But that's when Bane gets out a mother freaking RPG, and as Harvey always cracks me up, Jim, that thing's pointing right at us. So I'm guessing that blows a big hole in the wall, as we see right here, so they can get through, and that is when we see even more. I mean, it's hilarious just seeing Penguin in Enigma's lap there, just like, oh, hold me, freaking Enigma, I can't handle this. I don't know, but it's good to see that they're buddies again. So assuming this is the same battle as what we've been seeing this whole time, but proceeding on from here, Bane gets through. This is where the shit gets, you know, real, and that's where we see Alfred. Man, bless his soul. I freaking love Sean Pertwee as Alfred. He's standing up to this tank of a mother freaking Bane. I mean, just look at the height differences there. Obviously, the boots they've given Eduardo probably boost him up a few inches as well. So he looks a lot more towering, especially as what I said earlier with the aesthetic design of the American freaking shoulder pads of like football, whatever they've put under the suit, you know, in a similar way. So I love the courage of Alfred there. The next scene we see is Bane punching Alfred, and it literally looks like a load of freaking teeth get knocked out or something. Not that that will happen, but a load of blood. And Bane's just loving this sadistically. It's like, come on then, man, like cricking his neck. Alfred is up against a pole that I believe his back gets broken on. Now, I don't know how I feel about this bit at the end. I think it's really cool how Bane has literally got Selena in his hands, and he's like talking about squishing her head like butter, I think, and Bruce is just like, you mother freaking bastard, I'm gonna come after you. The thing is, this is kind of difficult. Like, Bruce runs after him, and I just don't know if I believe, like, I don't want to sound nitpicky. It's just, you know, it's fair enough when Bruce goes away for 10 years and returns in a time jump or something after getting trained by multiple senseis across the world. And I know he's been trained by, I buy the training he's already had, but like, I think I really want this fight choreography, is what I'm trying to say, is to be believable, because he runs into Bane. This is a skinny guy like myself. He gets picked up by Bane, and I know a lot of you are thinking maybe Bruce's back gets broken. It's not going to happen. It's Alfred. But I love the shot they used, because it looks like he lifts him up like in the comics and brings him down, except, you know, he doesn't put his knee out so his back doesn't break. He just shoves Bruce into the floor. Not saying that that wouldn't hurt, but, you know, Bruce's back's going to be fine. And we even get a little scene after the credits there when Bane is about to flatten Bruce's face, but then Bruce rolls out the way and Bane proceeds to punch the floor next to him. Now, I think I would believe this fight if Bruce, what I'm trying to say is if Bruce beats him, which I'm kind of worried about, because a 17, 18-year-old non-Batman like Bruce shouldn't be able to take on a venomed up Bane. But maybe it'd be believable if after Bane punches the floor there, Bruce quickly gets up, yanks a load of the stuff out of the back of his head or the venom tubes, and he starts, like, you know, failing. I know that was somebody's gonna make a gif out of that, I know it, but do you know what I mean? That maybe I'll be happy with that, because then like Eduardo might be freaking out and might be out of his control. He won't have the venom pumping through his system. But I don't want to see, I guess what I'm concerned and apprehensive about is David Mazouz, Bruce Wayne, take on Eduardo Dorrance, 1-man to 1-man, and Bruce win the hand-to-hand combat. I just wouldn't believe that. So nothing against David Mazouz, nothing against the show or anything like that. This is truly from a critical point of view. I want it to be believable. I want Bruce to flukily win, but not in a fluky face punch that just so happens to knock out Eduardo. Do you know what I mean? I trust they'll do it well, but we're gonna have to wait and see. But that was the video, guys. I know it's a bit more of a different trailer breakdown today. I didn't want to go over frame by frame by frame by frame, because I feel like I spoke a lot about it before, and I wanted to dive into a different kind of in-depth analysis in terms of talking about lots of other things we've known throughout the season. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of my ideas in the comments below as well. Expand upon them. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of them, and also let me know if you're a bit more persuaded by Eduardo / Shane West's Bane. I'm quite looking forward to it. We've got a definitely exciting couple of episodes ahead of us. And then we've got the 10-year time jump. So things are really coming to a close now. But other than that, guys, I think I've already said this. Like the video, subscribe if you're brand new. Check out the Boba merch down in the description, guys. And also become a Patreon of mine, like these guys did on the screen. You get a shout out, you get a reward based on what tier you choose to pledge to. And I really appreciate the support. But as always, follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram. And that is everything. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. See you Gothamites in the next video. Goodbye.